Iya.
So nice to meet you. I'm very happy to meet too many Indonesian game developers. So first of all, I want to ask you about the focusing market. Put your hand if you are focusing consumer game market like Switch or Xbox and so on. Nothing. Oh, only one, two. Okay. Next, focusing PC game, Steam, like okay. 結構多い。Oh, sorry, Japanese. And the last, focusing mobile game. Half. Half or lower than half. Okay. And one more question. Are you focusing on Japanese market? Soon. Okay. So today, I want to talk about mobile game and Japanese market. So please listen. First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Hiroki Yamada. Please call me Hiroki. I used to work for Japanese game companies as a game designer. First, I was in Square Enix, and I was a game designer of some Final Fantasy projects. Final Fantasy XIV, Digital Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. And second, I was in DNA. When I was in DNA, I was a member of some mobile game project, Ninja YR and DOT. And after then, 2 years ago, I have founded two small mobile game companies in Japan. First is Fundoshi Parade. Actually, Fundoshi means Japanese traditional underwear. So Fundoshi Parade means a very curious company. And it has only 2 members. And Moshimo Box. Moshimo Box has only me. So 2 companies are both very small. And today, I want to talk about the mobile game, Just Give Me 3. It was made in Fundoshi Parade company, so this game was developed by only 2 members. So, first, please watch the promotion video. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much. This is a mobile game for iOS and Android, a free-to-play game. And it has been released about a year ago in Japan. So now it is available for English, Korean, and Chinese. So if you are interested in this game, please search Just Give Me 3 on the Google Play or App Store. And as you can see these pictures, so you might think, oh, it looks fun, casual, right game? Oh, the LTV must be low. But it's wrong. It has earned much money in Japan. It has been downloaded over 500,000 times, and its LTV is about $4. It is not low in Japan. And it has earned over $2 million in a year. So today I want to talk about why did it become successful in Japan. I think there are 3 reasons. First, low CPI with casual and light visual. Second, high LTV with IAP and ads. Third, live ops with regular updates and events. First, low CPI with casual and light visual. In generally, casual game is known for its low CPI. And as you can see, Just Kill 3 is received as a casual and light game, not a heavy game. So for Just Kill 3, CPI is about $1.5 to $2.5 with video ads or playable ads. So this CPI is much lower than heavy games in Japan. For heavy games, CPI is about $5 or higher in Japan. So this is very low. Number 2, high LTV with IAP and ads. In order to break even, your game needs to have at least 2.5 LTV in Japan. In Just Kill 3, we use IAP and ads to achieve $4 LTV. So look at this graph. 60% of revenue is from IAP and 40% of revenue is from ads. So we need both ways. Last, live ops with regular updates and events. Sorry. Just Kill 3 looks like a casual game, but actually we introduce new contents in Just Kill 3 at least once a month. Gacha and special dungeon, and sometimes we add a new feature or new stories. We refer to heavy games live ops in order to keep our game standards high as them. So after 1 year of live ops, we doubled our LTV. In first, LTV was only $2, but now it became $4. So this enables us to pay for UA. These are the basics. But if you want to success in Japan, not enough. So most important thing is localize. In Japan, it is very important to match characters visual to Japanese taste. So please, 3 characters. Please watch 3 characters. Center is Just Kill 3's character. And do you know both characters? So right and left characters are both Japanese popular animation characters. So as you can see, they are very similar. But that is the reason why Just Kill 3 character could become popular in Japan, I think. So I recommend to refer to Japanese anime and manga to match characters visual to Japanese taste. It is best. It is nice way. And you should spend effort, especially for App Store or Google Play icon and screenshots. They are very important. So my presentation is all. So if you have some questions, please feel free to ask me. Let's succeed in Japan together. Thank you very much.
Okay, maybe Mr. Arief and Daigo can join us together so we can start the Q&A session. Maybe I will start the session with a little bit of sharing from Mr. Arief.
Mr. Arief.
Sorry? Do you mind if you... Yeah? Or do you want to use chairs?
Oh.
Sebelumnya saya mau nanya dulu, kalau misalnya pada pakai bahasa Inggris nggak masalah kan? Ada yang mau protes? Kalau protes pulang aja.
Ketua brengsek aja rumah. Fix turun mana ya tahun depan.
Okay, based on the sharing from Mr. Daigo and Mr. Hiroki, yeah, sorry. What do you think about local Indonesian developers that just starting to pursue these game development careers and viewing this indie? Do you guys indie or?
I think so.
Yeah?
I mean, he's successful indeed.
Ah, nice.
Not successful indeed.
Okay, based on this not successful, do you have any recommendation for the young guys that just starting? So where to start or something like that?
Everybody's like starting?
Yeah.
Like students?
Yeah. Who is just right now is still students in university? Yang masih pelajar? Yeah, I think almost half of the audience is still students. I think. Go ahead.
Well, hi. Well, I think you guys all understand English. That's already like a big start, advantage compared with other developers in Indonesia because you have access to the information outside of Indonesia, right? You can read Agamastra, Kotaku, and you can read all this like English-based information. This is great, so you guys have great potential. Like where to start making games? I think really depending on what you're looking for. Do you want to be a game engineer? Or do you want to be a game designer? Do you want to be a director? Do you want to be indie? No, it's all different. For example, if you want to be indie, or if you like into story design, maybe using RPG Snack is the right choice. If you want to do game engineering and be really good at that, for example, like, I mean, join a big company is a good option too. Maybe you shouldn't stay there forever, but they will join. Join Agate. Yeah. It's such a good choice. Join Agate.
Pertunis.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, so far he seems to be a good guy. So
Seems so far.
yeah, I'm not like trying to recruit or anything, but I think also like think about like maybe outside of Indonesia is the option. I started from America. I'm not American, but I studied in America and actually went to the company in America. I mean, then I'm kind of coming back to Japan and visiting Indonesia. So multicultural experience is also very interesting. I mean, it doesn't have to be America, it could be Singapore, I mean, going out to see around the world is also an option. So if you're interested in like study abroad or like work abroad, that's one choice you have. Especially for game engineering, unfortunately, America is the top. USA is the top. You can't compare with other place. Like the level of engineering is so high. So I think it's great for Indonesia actually, if you learn, like for example, is Tedo here? Tedo's not here. My friend Tedo, he actually started in America, and he went to Indonesia, starting his studio. It's such a great value for Indonesia as a country. So maybe one of you can become like them. Actually, it's the same thing for not only game engineering, game design or anything. Just keep in mind it's one option. I also think like starting in Indonesia, be good at here, and trying to like be a best designer, best engineer here is one good way, because as long as you're a good guy, it doesn't matter where you live. Like people wants to talk to you, wants to hire you from everywhere. Maybe you will lose best engineer in the future. but that's good for Indonesia, good for you, good for everybody. We will be happy. Yeah, so you open your mind. Like don't only look at like your surroundings. Look at the other cities. Look at the other developers. Look at the world. That will make you a successful person, I think.
As Daigo said before, I think English is very important too. Actually, I'm not good at English very much, so I think I lost some chances. But you can speak and understand English, so you can get many chances to get information or go abroad or join foreign countries. So it is very nice, I think. And if you want to join game companies, I recommend to develop game by yourself. When I was a student, I was a user of RPG Maker. Do you know RPG Maker?
Sure.
Actually, my major was philosophy. Not tech, not IT, or something. But I developed game by myself with RPG Maker. So I can join to Square Enix very easily. Very easily.
Different standard.
I think to develop games by yourself is the best way to join game companies. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, I think I want to explain why this session happened. So previously, the main purpose for the main session title for today's gathering is about talent, right?
Yeah.
And then and I think we are we are very lucky because today's two of our friends visited from Japan, and then Tedo also visited, but he cannot join us today. He sent his best regard to you all. So I think this is a good opportunity also for everyone to learn from these two masters, because you could meet me every day. Like I always be in Bandung, but yeah, they only visit like Bandung like maybe once every 2 years, right? Yeah. Yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah. So I hope this is a good opportunity for everyone to learn from these two masters. Yeah. So in my point of view, if you want to go to the game industry, I think you really need to know that Indonesia has a very big disadvantage in some of the game industry, because the ecosystem is not there. In the university, you cannot learn about games. Even if you compare with like Malaysia and Singapore, they could learn about game industry in the university. And the number of talent in Indonesia that says they are in the game industry in LinkedIn is only like 500, but in like Malaysia and Singapore they have like 5,000, and even in Vietnam they have 6,000. In China they have 6,000. So yeah, actually we are in a big disadvantage. So of course you need to know that the game industry is actually not really easy industry. So yeah, I don't think it's easy to enter Square Enix actually. Yeah, but you need to know that given our own situation, that we have a lot of disadvantage. So if you really want to go to the game industry, you really need to know that, and then you really need to force yourself to go through the barriers. And then in the end, one key thing that you really need to do to become a good game developer is just make a lot of games as much as you can and put it to the market as fast as you can, because that's the way that you will learn, by iterating your games. I think yeah, that's any.
So for the audience, is there any of the audience that have made games before or currently making games? No?
Great.
Yeah, I think there's yeah. I just want to point out that confidence is also one of the important issue in Indonesia. I think confidence, because I see I know some of these guys that already made game that doesn't raise their hand up. So this is yeah.
Actually, we have a joke every time. We also have an internal session. When there's the speaker asks like, is there any question? Usually seeing in Indonesia, and then actually when we invite external speaker, and then he said, oh, Indonesia is very different. Like last time I was in India, and when he asked anybody want to ask a question, like everybody want to ask a question. And that's a very different culture. But I think you need to we need to speak up more. We need to learn more, like, because we already have the disadvantage. So if you want to ask a question, and if English is your difficulty, then I think he will translate.
We believe you.
Ya, jadi ada yang mau nanya nggak? Nice. Arief sama Steven duluan tadi.
Halo, pakai bahasa Indonesia apa?
Kamu Arief.
Yang saya mau tanyakan ke Mas. Tentang ini, bagaimana reach media Jepang itu, cara maksudnya ya sebagai indie, biar kita si game itu mau dipublikasi oleh media Jepang itu gimana caranya gitu?
Mungkin Mas Steven.
Okay.
Oh, Stephen.
So I'm Steven from Nilam Studio. We have made a PC game, a text-based game. We have made a Android game, and we have a knowledge about interested in indie games in America on the Western. But my question is, what kind of indie games that is interested for Japanese gamers?
Okay.
And what makes them to buy the game?
Okay, actually, the question from Arief is pretty similar with the Stephen question. So he asked, how do we as indie in Indonesia, how do we reach
Able to enter market. To enter market
Japanese
of
media?
yeah.
Yeah, Japanese media.
You're talking about like specific game, like platform, PC or?
He's asking about the media, the press.
Yes,
Maksudnya what media press.
Ya, press ini kayak kita punya games terus biar di kayak di review atau gimana oleh
Oh, from the press. The press.
Oh yeah, but like which kind of game? Like it's a Steam game or mobile games? Different. Huh?
mobile games.
For example, what I always do is go to Yoyaku Top 10. Yoyaku Top 10. It's a website. That's a pre-registered website for your game. If you put your game there, if it's a good quality, with good localization, good language localization, you get like around 1,000 pre-registered users. So I think like that website is checked by the reviewers as well, press. So if your game is good, those people are just like also part of the system. When you release, they will get to see your game. Usually that way I get like several hundred DAU in first day. Also get the review and stuff afterwards because people notice. I also try to send email to those websites. Maybe it's hard for you to do it in Japanese, but you need to do it in Japanese because they don't understand English. So maybe find your Japanese friend, or maybe pay, I don't know. Send email to those people. Actually, like many people are nice. As long as they like it, they actually do review for you. So it's good source for like your, I think that's very cheap way. It's free. Especially you have top 10. Top 10 is pretty effective so far in Japan. So I would recommend them.
I think React Top 10 preserve site is not bad way, but actually Japanese media focusing mobile game, Japanese web media doesn't have strong influence power actually. So we don't send via press anything actually. So, but if you want to send email, many web media receive an email, but almost Japanese can't understand English. So you should write in English or in Japanese. As we do. That's all.
So yeah, I think I want to say some basic stuff first because we are the host. Welcome to everyone, and actually we have some food in the back. If you don't mind, could you like pick it up and then share it to everybody? Because yeah, if not, we will finish the session and then the food will still be there, and then the office manager will scold me. Yeah. Terus yang di belakang tolong diangkat aja yang gitu, terus dibagi-bagi. Ada minuman juga, silakan. Yeay.
Kayak gitu dong.
What kind of game did get? Sorry, your question?
Steve.
That is interesting for Japanese gamers.
Yeah, that is.
Is that like Steam or mobile? Steam?
This guy have Steam games.
Steam?
Steam games.
Kiri.
Some PC, I call it PC.
I think one interesting I see in Japan Japanese people are actually very weak when they hear this game sold million copies in America. Yeah, it came to Japan. They feel like, oh, it must be good. Like, I think like Undertale, for example, they released outside Japan first, then coming to Japan. I think it has a positive effect. At least that's one thing I know. That popular. I think, of course, JRPG style game. Japanese people love it. And I think Japanese people like cute girls. Japanese people like cute girls. It's surprising, but it's called moe. So if your art is great, it's super moe. In Japanese standard, that has a good chance because it's visually really interesting. And also, maybe Steam is not much for female, so yeah, maybe ikemen game doesn't work too much. But I don't know.
Why is it so hard?
Actually, first of all, the indie game the market for Japan, Steam, is kind of still small because Japan has their own culture, dojin. Means all like Japanese people were mainly making games for their secondary IP. For example, Toho, Hatsune Miku. What else? Higurashi. Kankore.
Niru.
Oh, Kemono Friends. Kemofure. Sugoi. Yeah, so I think lots of great Japanese developers, indie game developers actually went to Comiket, Dojin, and lots of people make hentai game too. So if you call that as indie game, the most popular Japanese genre is hentai. No doubt. Is this answering your question?
Ya mungkin lanjutin lagi aja sesi tanya jawabnya. Ada yang mau nanya lagi tadi? Yang di belakang mungkin?
My name is Ista. So there is a lot of fuss lately on the internet about EA's implementation of loot box on Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh.
That I think is quite similar to gacha system that is loved by the Japanese people. So do you think that gacha box-based game can be successful outside of Japan? Thank you.
Gacha. The answer is yes. Gacha can be successful outside Japan. Hearthstone is gacha, right? It's gacha, undoubtedly. And they are like Summoners of War and like many other mobile games which is gacha. The problem of Star Wars Battlefront 2 is
Too many.
that game is paid game, yeah, $60.
Yeah.
And players' expectation is that I already paid. I should be able to have access for free. Unlike Overwatch, that also has an impact on the game balancing. So it's like such a bad experience for players. So that's why they're angry. So if the game is free to play, I think the outcome will be different. For example, what's the game? The Grasshopper made the game. Grasshopper Studio. They made a free to play console game. What's it called?
Grasshopper?
Yang Killer is Dead. Killer is Let It Die.
What?
Let It Die.
Oh, Let It Die. Yeah, Let It Die.
Di PS4.
Yeah. That's the one of the free to play successful free to play console like Steam game. I don't think they have a problem because it's free to play. People understand. So yeah, as long as it's paid game, I think you shouldn't have a gacha which influences the game balance. That's how I see gacha.
Come on.
I'm a gacha guy. So I want to say only one thing. Don't hesitate to add gacha to your game. Gacha is very nice to improve your LTV. So many games have gacha system or like gacha system. So it is popular, I think. No problem.
No problem.
Rekomendasi saja ya. Selama ini kalau membuat game itu apa memvalidasi dulu idenya mau seperti apa atau rilis cepat, iterasi cepat, income cepat gitu atau ngelihat yang sudah ada sebelumnya terus mengikuti game yang mirip terus baru bikin gamenya ya?
Bahasa kumis.
So the asking is, when you guys making games, do you usually look what kind of game that is successful in the market before, and do you guys iterate fast and just see what works and what not, something like that? Yeah, do you validate the market, the game first, then you develop it, or you just directly develop the games?
I think no, I don't, because I'm stupid. I think for me, for example, like if I want to make something popular, I probably don't do this RPG. It's such a bad deal.
Yeah.
It's mostly for passion, and I'm like looking. Of course, I'm looking at money too, but I'm also looking at something. I want to make something memorable for people. It's like the original reason I started making game was like, for example, I left playing Mother to Chrono Trigger, all this like JRPG, which still has a great influence on me, and actually, it's kind of surprising whenever I talk to people outside of Japan, they know the game. We talk about the same thing. I'm aware that maybe, actually, I also need to survive, so maybe that's a balance. I can't only just make what I want, but at least you choose game industry. And if you think you're doing something you hate, there's something wrong. So I think it's okay. It's a good idea to research the market, but just pick the one you probably like the most among them. Not only purely based on the revenue, because otherwise you can't motivate enough and you can't continue the development. That's my point. Sorry.
Air.
Aqua please. Aqua please.
Saya mau minum.
Sumber air sudah dekat.
You mean why do you mean
What?
Aja. Do you do market research before you make it?
Understand. You mean, do you do market research before you develop game? Okay? Of course I do. But my research is checking App Store or Google Play ranking, download ranking, and top sales ranking. So, research to find good visual and good mechanics. It is both are very important. And you don't refer to the game which has too many users and it is located to top sales ranking. You should refer to it has not many users, but it has located good ranking. So actually, it might have good mechanics to higher degree, I guess. Okay.
in here. Actually, maybe Dave could explain more details, but we actually use a very industrial approach. So yeah, if we want to make a new game, then we usually want to ask what is the best opportunity that available in the market that still how to say that with our limited capability that we could still grab the opportunity. So we try to find the balance between the opportunity that's there in the market and then what's our capability limit, and then we try to push the limit to meet with the opportunity. And then if you're asking about the creative balance, for we always try to balance that. We always want to see what the market wants, and but we also want to check whether the team in Agate wants to do the games. And we want to find the balance, because it will not be a good thing to push the team to do something that they don't like. Yeah, but it's also like not really good to just doing something that you like, but you're not sure whether there is market outside. Yeah, so we always try to find the balance, and then we use a very industrial approach. For example, to get a new idea, we usually like do a brainstorming for maybe like 20, 30 idea, and then we prioritize the idea, maybe like top 5, and then we try to build a feasibility study on each idea. And then we see like if we invest this kind of budget with this game, how long will it take to make the game, and how much is the possibility for the game to success, and then we assess that. And then after that, if we decided if we want to build a game, and then we usually use an agile system, and it's iterative development, like 2-week sprint, 3-week sprint, and then in every sprint we try to get user feedback as soon as possible. I think that's the approach that we do here.
Tadi ada yang nanya sebelah sini. Mas Karu ya, monggo.
Hi, I want to ask Mr. Hiroki. I see that Just Kill Me 3 is such a huge success. I mean, from when you start going indie, which is 2 years ago, right?
Actually, I started my indie life about 5 years ago.
Okay. 5 years.
I quit DNA 5 years ago, and after then, I developed a smartphone game, mobile game by myself, or sometimes I develop games with my friend. And several years later, I developed Just Kill Me 1 with my friend, and it has success. So, tax is very high. I noticed. So we founded companies.
The Fudanshi.
Sorry?
The Fudanshi company.
Different companies.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to ask is, from when you start going indie, how many games you make before you reach a level of Just Kill Me 3 success?
How many games?
And what do you learn by each? Maybe not each, but what do you think is important, and what is different from Just Kill Me 3 that it reached such a success?
Okay. Wait a moment. Before Just Kill Me 3, how many games? Okay. Actually, I developed about 10 or 20 games before Just Kill Me 3. Most of them are very small games, and I learned about the market, how to develop, how to use Unity or something step by step. So I think it is very important that to publish the game actually. So it tells a lot of things to you. Maybe you will be surprised. Oh, my game is not downloaded. It is real. So you can learn many things from it. So I think to publish the game is very important. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and then what do you think is different for Just Kill Me 3 that it reached such a level of success? What is different from Just Kill Me 3 from all of your other games?
What make the game success? Yeah.
Hi. Okay, I understand. Thank you for waiting. Just chemistry has many points, many good important point. We developed just chemistry to aim big successful first of all. So we aim to get high LTV. So it is the base idea, the base purpose. So after then, we construct many game designing stories or some visualized characters. So most important thing is goal purpose.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So
Cool purpose.
how huge do you want to success with the game? It is very important. So just the reason why just chemistry succeeded is I wanted success with just chemistry. I think.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. Hope and believe.
Oke, mungkin ada yang mau nanya lagi? Ya Mas Barli, monggo.
Kacamatanya Mas.
I want to ask more of culture and of game development in Japan. Like how you usually work in a day. Do you guys often pull an all-nighter or pull on an all-nighter?
Crunch.
The working member?
Yeah.
Crunch, like that.
To know more about what makes Japan, what makes the culture of Japanese different from other countries.
Well, I only know Japan and America, but I think Japanese people love the company. So basically, they're kind of I think they're sort of comfortable. Like when people say Japanese people work hard, that's not true. The reason they like stay late is because they're not working hard. In a way, they like start chatting each other. Like in Japan, it's like they're not like focusing all the time. They like go to smoking, go to convenience store, read manga, drink tea, cafe. The reason is because like there's a peer pressure. First of all, there's a peer pressure. It's like in Japan, you're not allowed to do something different from others. That's the cultural background. It's like you try not to be unique, right? So if you're the one who go home before the boss, you feel like guilty. Somehow they have that like it's called peer pressure. Actually, in Japan, if you have a strong mind, you can go home before 7. But many Japanese people don't have that strong mind. Since I have a strong mind, I could just go home.
Okay.
Just bye-bye.
Go home.
I come here tomorrow. It's no problem. Because actually, everybody understands. Everybody understands that walking long is not the solution. They're not stupid. They're reading articles. They know what's going on. They know they need to improve the productivity. It's just they are not like brave enough to change it. It's like everybody's like don't know why they're staying long actually. But at least I think a lot of things are not efficient. For example, like meetings, it's very inefficient. For example, if there's a meeting, they tend to call many people, invite too many people in the meeting. So it's a good learning for you. You know, don't do the same thing. For example, for meeting, don't bring everybody. Don't only bring who matters, who speaks in the meeting. Don't bring people who just sit there and don't speak anything. It's a waste of your time on his time. So yeah, I think Japan has, of course, they have good things in Japan, maybe similar in here. Maybe the companies feel more family, like they drink together. Maybe that kind of helps the people not to quit the company, but of course the harsh side too. What I like about Japan, by the way, compared with America, is Japan for game industry, they give you more chance. They give you more chance. Right. For example, you start as an engineer, you can be a game designer, no problem. They don't like fix your role based on your role. Like even if you're a game designer, if you kind of want to try the engineer, like they give you a chance too. Japan is such a flexible when it comes to like what job you do. America, for example, it's hard. If you're engineer, you engineer. You don't have a chance to really do the game design. Of course, you can give feedbacks, but it's not like you can try to be a director of a project usually. So in a way, America is more specialized culture. Japan is more generalized culture. Which I like. I think working for American company, get a better salary and go home early and work on my game is the best. But yeah, I think both has good sides and bad sides.
Any Japanese culture? What do you experience?
Actually, I don't have strong mind as Daigo, so I couldn't go home early when I was in game companies. So I was always tired. So Japanese people usually work so hard, and there is a bad point. Japanese people work so hard, so they don't have enough time to play games after work. So it is not bad. It is bad. So I think to play games, to touch entertainment, watching movies, reading books, are important for making games. So if you work at game companies, you should keep your time to play game and enjoy some entertainment. I think so.
Ini sebenarnya kan waktunya dari waktu ya. Kan sebenarnya kayak sudah hampir habis. Tapi kalau dari Agate sendiri apa tidak keberatan kalau misalnya ada sampai jam berapa available-nya?
The time is pretty limited.
I mean, let's see how many more people want to.
Okay. Let's just see how many people want to see.
Maybe 2 more, 3 more.
Oke. Monggo. Yang ada mau nanya lagi? Mumpung ada kesempatan menarik. Mungkin yang Mas Cipto, Kak Adam nggak mau nanya?
Kalau kita kan bisa.
Oh ya, boleh Mas Owen.
Yeah, my name is Owen. I want to ask something, especially about localization, especially the Japanese or other stuff. What's a good indication on whether, okay, I hire a freelancer to localize my game to Japanese. So what's a good indication of whether this freelancer is good enough for the job and he doesn't, I've kind of heard of some localization team that, just copy pasted a Google Translate and just call it their work. What is a good indication for me to find out?
It's a good question. I actually just helped one of my friends' Indonesian game, in English, translate it into Japanese. Actually, they already translated to Japanese, but it's kind of pretty bad Japanese. So I wonder maybe they have this issue. I think ultimately you need to have a friend helping you. Because if it's translated by Google Translate, like using the Google Translate to reverse translate, it's still the correct actually it's one way actually, but usually how I do it is reverse translate that Japanese into English. See if it makes sense. That's maybe the one thing you could do. But ultimately, you need a native speaker checking it for you. For example, you can make a friend easily, right? Just go online and ask be friendly. It's just pick random guy on Twitter or whatever and just be friend. Because like just reading, it's not hard, not much work for people, right? It's very easy for Japanese people to tell, oh, this is wrong or not. So, yeah, I think you must find somebody who can help to just read it for you, proofreading very quickly. And once you know that guy is trustworthy, then you can just let him do the translation, right? But initially, you have to verify. I think Hiroki had actually similar problem, so.
Yes, that's right. I have completely same problem. Translation is very difficult. So in generally, it is people say it is good that translate twice. First, native language to rough Japanese. You can ask it to freelancer. And second, rough Japanese to native Japanese localize. You should ask it native Japanese speaker. So final Japanese become good native. So actually you should find some native speaker. If something I can do for you, please ask me. Okay.
Tahu skripnya sebanyak apa?
Iya, it's a trap, bro.
I'm not sure. Do you have a problem with localization?
It's a trap.
Mungkin kalau dari pengalaman kita, kalau mau cari localization partner, pastiin yang localize tuh ngerti tentang gamenya ya. Jadi jangan sampai dia cuma native Japanese tapi dia nggak ngerti tentang game. Ketika itu kita kayaknya pernah deh. Ketika kita ngelocalize ke language apa gitu, walaupun bener ya, secara kayaknya kemarin pernah deh ada kita bikin something buat ke Jepang. Secara harfiah bener, orang Jepang ngerti, tapi sounds weird. Jadi kalau misalnya cari localization partner, pastiin dia ngerti tentang game juga, ngerti tentang gamenya gitu.
Kalau pengalaman dulu kita sempat kerjasama dengan kita bikin Iksa lah, translate juga kan, saya mau ke Iksa waktu beberapa tahun yang lalu. Awalnya buat nyari translatornya dari teman-teman juga, cari paling mudah itu cari teman-teman sendiri yang kuliah di Jepang misalnya. Itu kan mungkin mereka udah bisa bahasanya, tapi kan tetap bukan native dan bisa juga bukan gamer. Karena pas akhirnya kita ketemu dan temannya teman juga akhirnya jadi translator kita buat si Sengoku Iksa itu, ada banyak kata-kata yang spesifik game tapi dalam bahasa Jepang diterjemahnya juga ada gitu. Tadi yang Dev bilang gitu. Jadi kayak apakah hisatsu gitu, misalnya jurus apa gitu. Kalau di game itu kan mungkin apa gitu ya yang lebih cocok. Kalau dalam bahasa Jepang harfiah beda, kata translation-nya beda gitu. Jadi paling mudah cari teman dan mungkin di circle yang ya otaku, ibu atau apa gitu ya. Maksudnya yang ngerti budayanya gitu ke situ sih. Tips aja. Kita dulu kayak gitu, walaupun akhirnya kita ketemu yang lumayan punya pengalaman di bidang translation.
Actually, I want to add one thing for localization because I actually helped Agate to translate one game to Japanese. Yeah, there's some problems, so sorry for that. So the problem was, like, if you are not used to localization, you don't really understand the difference between languages. Some language has a different order in the wording, right? Some language has a different way to do the plural and singular. So you cannot just like roughly give the spreadsheet to somebody and translate. You need to be aware of the difference. And for example, for example, number one is like number one, right? In English. But in Japanese it's ichiban. The order is swapped. So when you do the translation, the engine needs to actually support this localization natively. Like you need to build your engine in that way. Your code is actually like be able to dynamically swap the thing. Because in this case, number one, this one is a dynamic variable, right? In your game, you want to make it 2 or 3 without like hard coding every single combination. So in this case, you need to be able to kind of say maybe number like bracket 1 or something like that. You need to have a kind of special character so that you can replace it at runtime. I just want you to inform that like before ask for localization, make sure your system is ready for that. Otherwise, the translator will be confused. I was confused. It's like, what should I do? You know. So that's a bit challenging. Maybe you need to learn it gradually. And yeah, when you deal with German, for example, you know, you need to leave so much space in your UI, for example. But yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah, monggo.
I don't know if anybody already asked about this, but I want to ask about how do you research the mechanics and gameplays in the market and knows people who really wants it, and how do you make it really stand out in the market? Because there's a lot of games that really is familiar, but it's not really stands out in the market. So how do you do it?
It's pretty similar with the previous questions. Do you still want?
Maybe it's a bit similar to the marketing research,
Yeah.
but he's focusing on game mechanics.
Yeah.
In my case, I'm not like as organized as Hiroki. In my case, I just like find out from the game I played, right? I play by myself, and I just like learn from the game I liked. Like I didn't really do too much like research on whether, because the game mechanics not necessarily like reflected in the ranking. Ranking is like affected so too many factors. Like most top download, maybe it's more about art and visuals. They're like odds. So is that the game mechanics which is like actually good or not? That's hard to tell. So it's like ultimately it's like really up to how you feel, I think. And it's also probably depends on like, but at least when you talk about game mechanics, the meta game. For meta game, it's usually very similar. Yeah, for meta games, it's a good idea to learn from the top grossing games because they're doing right. Like high LTV games have the right meta game mechanics. For core game, it's hard. It's hard because that's where you want to be original about, right? So it's more about how you feel. That's my opinion.
Okay. Actually, same as Daigo. To research game mechanics, we play a lot of games on the top good rank App Store or Google Play games. During you play many games, you must notice, it is very similar mechanics. So the similarity is very important. And after you know the game mechanics, and you can base on it, and it is good to cover other visual, other touch feelings or something. So it could be seen different. So to research, to good way to research game mechanics is only to play many games. I think so.
Maybe we have time for one last questions. Anybody want to?
Fight.
Okay, Stephen?
Oh yeah.
Or any of the rest? No? Yeah, go ahead, Stephen.
This is a simple question. Is indeed should we go to the publisher or when we should not go to the publisher? Or by self-publishing?
Actually, my brother is making a game too for Steam. Yeah, at least he talked to the publisher. But I think you should only go to publisher who does the work for you. Like some publisher doesn't do any shit and just take the cut from you, so it's like waste of your money. So as long as you research a good publisher and you can work with them, I think it's a good idea to work with them because like marketing and all these things is something most indie game developers don't want to do. But at the same time, I think self-branding like is also a good experience because you can learn it. If you let others do it, you don't learn. You don't accumulate the knowledge inside you. So I can't tell which is better, to be honest. But I think in my brother's case, I think I like his game a lot. But the publisher was like, I don't know. I mean, this is too unique, and because publishers don't want to take risks sometimes. Sometimes if your game is too unique, they don't want to really publish your game. I don't know, but I think in general, if you can work with a well-known publisher, I think it's a good idea to work with them because you can learn from them. But don't work with shitty publisher, it's waste your money. In that case, go for self-publish. At least you don't feel like a loser.
Okay.
I've never released PC game and I've never worked with publisher. So, but some of my friends said it is good to work with publisher. Do you know the game Kamiko? Switch game. Switch indie game Kamiko. It is a successful title. And my friend, the developer of Kamiko said the publisher, to work with publisher was nice to marketing. And I think depends on your strong point and bad point. So if your good points enough and you don't have bad point, so you don't need to work with publisher. But if publisher can cover your bad point, it might be good way to work with publisher. I think so.
Yeah, mungkin that's all. Is there any closing statement from any of you? Do you have any closing statement for these guys?
Lifetime tips.
Everyone's indie here?
I think so. Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Mostly indie.
Mostly.
Left tip. Maybe make a movie. なんかこういい感じの締め。Maybe while you're talking, I think. Maybe you don't have. Okay.
Good job.
It is my first time to come to Jakarta and Bandung. I met some Indonesia game companies, maybe about 4 or 5 companies. And I was very surprised because every game company's game are very high quality. So Indonesia game industry's quality is very high. So maybe I think Indonesian game industry will become bigger than Japanese. I think it is possible. So I was very surprised, and I think I want to work with you. So, thank you.
Anything to say? Yeah, I think, I don't know about you, but sometimes I meet indie developers who think earning money is evil. It's like, ultimately, like, gacha is evil, you know? DLC is evil. You only need to sell like paid package game. I don't know, maybe there's no you are like that, but sometimes I meet those developers. I see them online. And I feel like, also like there's some people who work on some game very hard, like they spend like a year, and they get tired. And they didn't put enough effort in marketing, just like put the thing on the market. In the worst case, they just release it for free. Like, just because they want to be released from the struggle. I think like it's pretty sad if you can't continue making games because you can't make money, right? So I think like Hiroki-san, I mean, he might not be making what he really loves actually, you know? Maybe he loves it, half of it he loves, but maybe half of it you might not like. I'm just guessing. Is it true? Like, I'm just saying, 完全に 100% 自分が好きなものばかり作ってるわけじゃないっていうことを Exactly. Yeah, so I think in his case, he's like making 50% he likes, 50% he doesn't like too much. Because it's a balance. Because if you don't make money, you can sustain your life and you're a sad person. So, but at the same time, I think if you're only making game for money, it's also sad. Because, like, why don't you go to banking or something, right? Or just buy Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin, oh my god, I want one. Yeah, so
it's so expensive.
So I think you are lucky that you could hear Hiroki, his success, maybe a bit of my passion, and his passion also might help. Please be interested in marketing, be interested in the game, be interested in the story. Don't like be like narrow-sided. Accept that this is a business, but at the same time it's a passion. Yeah, keep yourself balanced. It's the best thing. Thank you.
Yeah, to be honest with you guys, I'm not really it really depends on the definition of indie, but I'm not really like the one that really supporting indie. So I have an experience in GDC and in San Francisco. I just want to share you guys with my experience. There's two classes. One is by a very famous indie game development guy. I cannot mention his name. And then when we want to enter that class, like everybody's queuing, like very long tail of queue.
Oh, yeah.
And then on the other hand, there is one presentation from a guy from the Space 8. It's a free-to-play mobile game developer/publishers. And because this class is very crowded, so I decided to go to the mobile class. And when I go in there, it's like 70% empty. Like only 20% is sitting there, and mostly are the Chinese people. Like the mainland Chinese people is everywhere there. It's the 30%. And then I just sitting there. And actually one of my friends go to the indie. And then I asked like, could you share me what he's talking about and what the presentation is about? And then he shared like, the whole presentation is about, he's telling a lifetime story about how he built his indie game. It took 6 years and it got like 600,000 lifetime revenue on the room, and it's like everybody's like there, very like it's a very crowded room, like everybody like standing in the back. And in this room, I shared like one slide. He said that his daily revenue is like 70,000 on the classroom. It's 70% empty. I don't know what to say. Like maybe you could also like put it in because in the end, I still you watch the indie game, the movie.
Yeah.
Everybody watch. I don't know. Yeah, I think you need to watch. It's very depressed movie, but in the end, if you want to do something, then you really want to enjoy it. It needs to be like sustainable things, and the fact that whether you love something or you not love something, it really depends on your mindset. That's what I really believe in Agate also. Like you could always try to love something. Yeah. So how to say it, like in the end you need to be sustainable. Like if you want for me to say like the Indonesian game industry, I don't think Indonesian game industry is in a good state. If you compare with the Japanese game industry or maybe Korean game industry or the Chinese game industry, all the local game industry able to live and grow from the local market. Like Japanese game industry, like 80% of the game is produced by Japanese game company, produced by Japanese game people. Korean also like 70%, Chinese almost 88% game in Chinese, developed by Chinese, published by Chinese. In Indonesia, maybe 99.6% game in Indonesia developed by foreign and published by foreign. Yeah, so we don't really have the chance to learn and grow as an industry. So it's really challenging. And if you go into indie, what I want to say that you have all the disadvantage in capability, knowledge, and everything, and you will compete globally with that disadvantage. So yeah, you need to realize that if you go that way, you really need to push yourself, like your capability up very, very fast. Actually, that's a pretty like depressing statistic, but we also have a good side of it because we are in Indonesia. Our cost of living is very, very low, right? Yeah, so you really need to put that and maximize that. You need to talk with the world, like Daigo said, like you need to make friends with all the good developers in the world, maybe like collaboration, because all we need is to increase our capability, and the best way to do that is to learn from the best. Like you need to search the world, like maybe like doing co-development with Daigo or Hiroki-san, like you could increase your capability faster, and I think that's the better way to do it rather than you just push and do trial and error, because you need to be faster. If you sometimes have a chance to visit China, I think you really need to visit China game industry, because that's where the crazy things begin. Do you know how many game studio in China? Do you know how many game studio in China?
Many, but there are many also bankrupt.
Yes, actually, yeah. So, but in statistics alone, I have the statistic from the GDC Shanghai. It's a 20,000 game studio. But actually, yeah, now it's already happening consolidation, so it's not that much. But what I want to share that the number of developers is a lot, and the tier 3 company, the one that not really able to live in China, they really want to attack all over the world. And actually, maybe I'll just use Indonesian. It's very hard to explain in English. Jadi bahkan tier 3 mereka aja itu tuh jauh lebih jago dari kita gitu, dan itu mengerikan gitu. Jadi ya pesannya adalah kita harus cepat-cepat mempercepat peningkatan kapabilitas kita. Secara kuantitas juga harus dibanyak. Intinya sih perang game development itu perang talent. Jadi kita harus cepat-cepatan jadi jago, perbanyak orang di game development, dan pastikan bahwa the industry itu hidup. Masa industri itu jumlah duit yang masuk ke industri itu tuh makin banyak tiap tahunnya. Karena kalau enggak kita bakal decline terus, dan Indian orang bakal capek jadi game dev. Mendingan kerja di unicorn. Ya jadi that's the state that we are living now. Ya kita harus push gitu. Jadi kalau di Indonesia nggak ada game industry atau nggak ada game company yang bakal gede, ya udah bakal lupakan lah game industri Indonesia. Itu yang benar-benar harus di push banget sih. So I think we all of us have a big homework to push our capability to make a good game. Yeah, I think that's the sorry.
Super.
Kayaknya nggak usah ditutup lagi, udah bagus penutupannya.
Sama lo rusak
ya,
aja.
Jadi mungkin segitu aja acaranya. Kita kasih tepuk tangan terakhir dulu untuk para pembicara. Ya, mungkin ada sedikit sedikit pengumuman aja. Kayak mungkin kita bakal ada sesi Ngariung lagi minggu depan. Kayak tanggal 7, sekitar tanggal 7. Udah ada pembicara yang fix, kayak nanti ada next page sharing masalah game mixer dari Afrika. Kayak ya nanti bisa mampir lagi kalau misalnya tertarik untuk belajar-belajar. Ini kita lihat dari Jepang, nanti ada lihat dari Afrika juga mungkin. Banyak pengalaman lah. Jadi intinya ya benar yang di sharing sama Mas Arief, kita harus benar-benar cepat-cepat mempercepat improvement talent kita, kayak banyak-banyak belajar. Yang masih kuliah, terutama ini opportunity yang bagus banget buat mempertajam talentanya. Ya mungkin segitu aja. Terima kasih sudah datang hari ini. Jadi nanti kita silakan kalau mau ngobrol-ngobrol, jangan takut untuk ke depan nanya-nanya, misalnya mau kenal-kenalan, ya, ngasih kartu nama. Ya mungkin segitu aja. Terima kasih. Oh ya, sorry.
You can share. Yeah. Maybe you can like share through your community. Okay. Just let people know that we will share happily. We are going to happily share our contact, and he will help you to be able to reach us. Email address. So if you have more questions, if you want to, I don't know, maybe he wants to work with you. Paid job. Rich, if you want to work with me to make a mobile RPG, I can provide a tool and maybe work on that revenue share, no problem. Or I can also pay you, as long as it's not too expensive. Yeah.
Ya segitu aja, mungkin terima kasih. Jangan lupa dihabisin snacknya ya, kasihan. Oke.